task forces to give us some updates. Sentic, the treasurer for the ACAP. Marko Yelich, the Taxation task force. Dr. Pavletic, medical tourism. Boris, Vilic, the Domovina task force, and Davorka, Kirincic, education.
Hi everyone. I'm Sentic. I'm the treasurer of ACAP, and while they're getting settled in, I wanted to tell you a little bit more about our plans for the newly launched foundation. So a lot of the feedback that we've gotten over the past 5 years since we started is people are joining and people are excited, and they kind of want to give back in the same way that a lot of the first generation, second generations Croatians, when they came to this country or whatever country in the diaspora they landed in, they built great support networks. And so what we would like to do is build a new kind of support network here for our young Croatians, the students that come from Croatia, our Croatian American youth here, and provide them with scholarships to go and study abroad in Croatia. We did that a couple of years ago. We created partnerships with institutions in Croatia that provide instruction in English. And they're very excited to have our students come and be part of their programs. We also last year had our first Domovina birthright program launched together with the help and support of the Croat office for cross abroad. And we have other initiatives that we're going to talk about right now through our task forces, as well as some other things that we'd like to do, establish mentorship programs and different opportunities for connecting the Croatians who come from Croatia to study in the U.S. A lot of times they land in a city where they know no one. Thanksgiving rolls around and they're just looking for some friends. And we've individually been able to connect with some of these, but we kind of like to provide a foundation so that they kind of know, we connect with ACAP and they will help us, whatever it is that they might need. And so we started this foundation. It's a 501c3 charity, and donations are tax deductible. And we would just, we created kind of a big goal for ourselves. We'd love to raise $100,000 this year to really push forward these initiatives. And we're going live with the campaign today. Any amount, if you text ACAP 2019 to 44321, you'll see kind of the different programs that we like to work on, the different levels of giving that, and the kind of support that will provide. And it'll take you to a link where you can learn more. So with that, let's talk about what we've been doing already and some of the task forces, what they plan to do in the future. So Boris Vilic, he's with the Domovina task force, and why don't you start, Boris, and tell us how the program went this summer?
Thank you, Maria. So let me just give to everyone a very brief history of the Domovina project. So I think it was at the first ACAP conference in Washington, D.C. That one of our members, Scott Vincent Andrews, came to Marko and said, the birthright program that Israel has and many other countries have that connect the youth to the mother homeland, why don't we have something like that? And then Marko said to Scott, well, why don't you start a task force to do it? So we started working on it in 2016, and I'm pleased to report that the first program happened this summer, and we feel it was an overwhelming success. We started working within ACAP, and it was Gina Havadic and Kristen Vilic and Peter Hasselblad, Stone Mustache, and many others who were part of the task force. And over that time, as we struggled through how do we organize this in Croatia, I do have to say that we received tremendous support from the government of Croatia, especially when Mr. Domovina took over the state office for Croats Abroad, and Mrs. Croatiana Resha, which really helped us fine-tune some of the details. So this summer, when we launched the appeal, and it was the first program we were running late, I have to say that we were so overwhelmed by the number of applications we received, not just from the United States, but we received applications from Canada, from Peru, Argentina, Venezuela, South African Republic, and Australia. So we had young Croatians from all over the world who wanted to connect to Croatia at a more deeper level. And I think from my perspective, what was guiding me is what kind of an experience would I want for my children to have with Croatia? Croatia. I don't want them to simply be tourists in Croatia. So in the first group, we had 33 people with a whole range of connections to Croatia. Half of them spoke Croatian, some didn't speak well, half of them didn't speak Croatian at all. We had people who have been to Croatia before, but just like many of us, their families from Zadar, they've only gone to Zadar, for example. They haven't really been to Slavonia and Istria and Zagreb. And their family histories, and I'm reading their applications, Croatiana called me one day and stood up and crying, I'm like, me too. Because it outlines sort of the Croatian immigrant experience, the families leaving the regime. And I'll never forget reading one of the applications when the applicant said, my grandparents had to leave because of the regime and they never made it back. But every night they would put me to bed, to sleep, telling me about the beauties of Croatia. So that was sort of like the experience and how do you connect these young people. And we started in Zagreb. I have who was there with us as we greeted the group and sent them off to Slavonia. So they started in Zagreb, went immediately to Vukovar, spent the day with branitelji, laid the wreath at the memorial cemetery, visited Ilok, and then made their rounds back to Zagreb, to Zagorje, all the way down the coast, visiting Brijuni, Kornati, Split, Dubrovnik. I know Maria, who was our liaison along with Steve Pavletic to the executive board, also met them when they were in Croatia. And I think the next part of today, you will hear from our participants and really what it meant to them. And it wasn't just in terms of visiting and seeing the culture and the richness of the heritage. It was also about creating connections in Croatia. So for example, they visited all the universities. Out of 33 people, we have 2 who have already made a decision to start their studies in Croatia this fall. So how we can further connect the diaspora and Croatia, I think, remains to be seen, but we're so proud of what happened, and we'll be launching a call for new membership for the task force. We do hope that some of the participants from the first program will sort of like take and run with it because they know a lot more about the program than any one of us. But I encourage everybody to consider volunteering for this task force. I will tell you from a personal experience, when we looked at the experiences of other countries and we looked at all the research data, we knew that this would eventually lead to higher investments in Croatia, but we also knew that it would lead to better quality of life for participants in terms of developing their friendships, etc. But for those of us on the task force, I feel like I've received much more than I gave because I have people like Gina and Peter who I know I will be friends forever in my life. So I would encourage everybody to consider volunteering and being included.
Great, thank you so much. I'm excited to hear more about what the participants have to say. So Davorka Kirincic is the chair of the Education Task Force, and we'll hear a little bit about what they've been doing over the past year.
I would like to say just a few words about ETF. ACAP Education Task Force was constituted on November 7, 2017. The current Education Task Force team includes 12 educators stemming from 8 Croatian schools located in Chicago, Houston, Milwaukee, Cleveland, Boston, New York, and San Pedro. The task force is representing all of 18 Croatian schools in the United States. Membership in the Education Task Force is voluntary and open to all educators currently working in any of the Croatian schools in U.S. The aim of the Education Task Force is to create a constructive dialogue between the Croatian schools in the United States and the Central State Office for Croats abroad in the Republic of Croatia, as well as to define potential ideas and solutions for the best standardized approach of the learning Croatian language as foreign language. Also, we would like to increase language proficiency among our children and youth. Another goal of our group is to create an opportunity for our Croatian school teachers to connect and exchange ideas and experiences on an ongoing basis. We have So many positive developments and achievements in the short time, 2-year period of time. We did education breakout session summary from second annual ACAP conference was documented and forwarded to the Central State Office for Croatia abroad. ETF members connected and exchanged contact information. Also, our members met continually during the last couple of years and discussed our short, medium, and long terms and goals and solutions. ETF members created a joint Google Drive for the purpose of sharing information. Also, in the Midwest ETF Task Force hosted an expert team of 5 professional Croatian language educators from Zagreb, Croatia in March of 2018. During summer of 2018, ETF members assist in providing professional advice and support to the founding members of the 18 Croatian School in the US in Detroit, Michigan. And the last, but very important, not the last, is that Central Office for Croatia Abroad, together with Croatian Ministry of Science, Education and Sport, approved and provided Croatian Academic and Research Network access for Croatian school teachers based in the US in August of 2019. And it's very important that our teachers can go on the line and use same materials as professors in Croatia. And that would help them to form their curriculum and have materials.
Okay. Thank you.
Can you just say something else?
Of course.
You probably ask yourself what you can help as adult. Our primary focus is children, but you as adult, how can you help? Learn Croatian. Naučite hrvatski. Pričajte hrvatski. Speak to your spouses. Speak to your children, your friends. It's very important. Also, is so many resources available, which one we encourage you to take advantage of. On each table is a flyer. On that flyer is, on one page, is information of members for Education Task Force. My contact information is there, and for Vice President also. Please feel free to contact us. Also, it's a link on another page for self-paced, free online learning modules for adults by Central State Office for Croatia Abroad and Faculty of Philosophy in Zagreb. That course is amazing. Has like around 80 lessons. Each one is 45 minutes, is self-paced, is excellent. Please take opportunity and share with your friends also and tell them about that course. Another 2 links are public calls for annual award for scholarship to learn Croatian. One link is to learn Croatian on line. Another one is to go in Republic of Croatia and learn Croatian. I just want, in conclusion, to thank Association of Croatian American Professionals for supporting the Education Task Force in our goals and efforts. And again, please, speak Croatian, try to learn Croatian, and I hope next year that I can do my report in Croatian, then you won't deal with my accent. Thank you.
Marko, Yelich, why don't you tell us about the Double Taxation Task Force and the efforts that you've been undergoing?
Sure, thank you, Maria. Good morning, everybody. I'm super excited to be here in my hometown and tell you a little bit about our efforts on double taxation over the past year. The purpose of our task force, as we've heard from some of the earlier speakers today, is really to foster negotiations and discussions between officials on the US side and Croatian side so that we can work towards signing an income tax treaty or a treaty to avoid double taxation. And I'd like to underscore the ambassador's comment earlier. This really is not a barrier to continued trade and exchange of goods and services between the two countries, but we view this as a vital catalyst to take it to the next level and to scale and intensify that relationship. And so we hope that those of you who might be interested in this topic will join our efforts and possibly attend the breakout session that we will have tomorrow morning. So over the past year, we've engaged with a range of officials. We've spoken to U.S. Department of Treasury officials, U.S. Department of State. A couple months ago in Washington, D.C., the ambassador kindly hosted a meeting with officials from Croatia, from the foreign ministry. And our ACAP branch office in Zagreb has also been instrumental in reaching out to the U.S. Embassy and officials who are stationed there in Zagreb to support our efforts. I'd like to particularly acknowledge one significant achievement. This past summer, ACAP Zagreb signed an agreement with the Croatian Exporters Association, Hrvatski izvoznici, and instrumental in this effort were our task force members, Tomislav Krmek and Don Markušić. They both led the negotiations and signing of the agreement. Don is here today with us on my right. Don, thank you very much. So during the ceremony, our task force member, Tomislav Krmek, highlighted that Croatia is the only EU member state that does not have such an agreement with the United States. And the goal of our task force is to change that in the very near future. Recent developments just within the last few weeks, we've received some very positive signs from U.S. Embassy officials in Zagreb and are looking, as now everyone kind of returns from summer vacations and is ready to re-engage. We're looking to intensify those discussions and negotiations in the coming weeks and months. Also, some recent updates from Capitol Hill. So finally, after many years of being on the back burner, Congress signed or agreed to several treaties that the U.S. had long ago negotiated with countries such as Spain, Japan, and Luxembourg. So we're also trying to ride those coattails and keep up with that momentum and see if we can get a treaty with Croatia on the table for review and signature very soon. Thanks for your attention, and I look forward to seeing some of you at our session tomorrow morning.
You can find more information about his session and all the sessions tomorrow in your book, in the conference booklet. So please make sure to check out everything going on Saturday. And so last but not least, Stephen Pavletic, please tell us about, what I do. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you. So this is about Medical Tourism Task Force. The conversation started in 2016, inspired by Eugene Haller, who is a professor at the University of Washington, and a number of colleagues to form this ACAP Medical Tourism Task Force as a unique opportunity for what ACAP should work on. The mission is so a group of, it's all volunteers, we are all volunteers, preparing programs, sharing ideas, to work with Croatia to offer outstanding, comprehensive services for medical tourism patients and people before they become patients. And it's about 50 to 75 billion and growing world industry. You name it, how do you want to put a number, but it's considered something worthwhile spending time on. We are based in the US, we are based in Croatia. I just listed some of the collaborators in that effort on the US side, Croatia side. 11 a.m. today, there is a panel. I listed a number of several participants from Croatia as well, so I invite you to be at a panel at 11 o'clock. And important milestone was this meeting in May of 2018 at the Croatian embassy in the Washington, D.C., where we started defining the scope and topics of our activities. And the main activities are listed here. Those in red are those that we are moving forward now further into stage of exploring how to implement on the ground these ideas and concepts created by the medical experts at ACAP, not only medical providers, but anybody who is in the healthcare sector. You know, this is a major thing in the United States. Health sector is almost 20% and the most vibrant part of the economy, and Croatian professionals are contributing major, substantial portion to this, as you had a wonderful opportunity last night to hear from Dr. Mihaljevic what's going on here in Cleveland Clinic. So, wellness and prevention of chronic disease, cancer center hospital, education, medical hospitality, and a concierge agency, and the other areas, housing communities, biothermal treatment centers, and telemedicine are being discussed as well. And just a picture, it's worth more than 1,000 words. So that was, we have these field trips. One was a Cleveland Clinic last year, a visit to the Lifestyle Medicine Institute here in the Cleveland Clinic and Mladen Golubic. It's really something, the concepts that are inspiring what we would like to put in place with partners on the ground in Croatia. Pickleball is an original American game. It was created in Seattle maybe 50 years ago, but it's picking up over the last 10 years, the fastest growing sport in America. It's like a ping pong on a small tennis court. It's spreading in Europe. Germany had an international cup just this summer. They didn't know what's pickleball last year. And so we had a couple demos in Croatia. I have huge faith and conviction because this is a sport for young and old and everybody, for prevention and maintaining good health and good spirit. It's going to come. Americans are already asking where I can play pickleball. Get ready in Croatia. It's very easy. Very easy. Indoors, outdoors. And if you visit Washington, D.C., please email me. We'll play. I'll show you. Happy to. This meeting in Cleveland in March was instrumental because the first time we said, okay, so we've been talking a lot, how can we move into implementation? We are a professional organization, almost like an academic aspect, and how to move into implementation. In medicine, this is like pharmaceutical industry does that. We have great ideas, but need somebody really to know how to make it happen. And this is what was the topic here of this meeting in March. Tomorrow, from 9 to 1, we have this breakout session. So today, 11 o'clock panel. Tomorrow, 9 to 1, it's a breakout. It's at the Global Center for Health and Innovation, just across the street. These are the agenda. Please come. We're going to have much more time to talk in details. Where is this going? We are partnering with Dr. Miljan Kobura strategically with this third Investors Forum. It's going to take place in October in Zagreb. Anybody who could should be there, because it's really pushing further the aspects, how do we invest in this idea in Croatia. And then we have another fundraising campaign that's tightly connected with what we are doing. Valentina Grbavac is running this campaign. It's a wonderful story, actually. So in exploring how to move the things forward on the ground, we struck this partnership with the Tax School of Business, and we are sending this winter a group of 5 students and mentor. These students are very experienced already, at least 5 years of work experience, to do a site visit, to interview stakeholders and come up with a white paper that we can then say, okay, this is feasible, this is the market analysis, this makes sense, something that we can then reach out to potential investors. And the focus of this first activity is on comprehensive medical wellness programs that Gina Havidic designed. It's really targeting aspects of healthy aging, healthy living, prevention of disease, pre-diabetes. So not like a healthcare, how would say, not the sick care, what some people say, it's medicine becoming today, but we really want to focus on the health care. Thank you very much for your attention and being part of this.
So I think we have time maybe for one or two questions, if anyone has a question. Well, we invite you all to learn more and to participate tomorrow in the breakout session. So thank you, Davorka, thank you, Steve, Marko, and Boris. Thank you.